You probably can hear my dogs upstairs. They don't normally bark, but they're howling like crazy on this horn. I just got this horn from my buddy Josh Landress, and it is gorgeous. Stay tuned to this video, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the new Landress Brass Trumpet. Thanks. Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Trent Austin from Austin Custom Brass. Thanks so much for watching all of these videos. Please take a moment, hit that subscribe button, stay up to date with us for all of our new products and offerings like this trumpet. Now, this trumpet is not for sale, but if you are in the Kansas City shop, you can come and try that when it's in the shop. Josh is a great friend of mine, and I'm so happy to have this trumpet. I've only been asking him for about 10 years, and if you don't know Josh, Landress Brass right here. We'll put a link to his shop in the description of this video. He is one of the few, if not the only, full-service brass store still in existence in New York City, and he's doing an amazing job, has a great staff, and makes incredible instruments. Now, he had made a few instruments many years ago, and I had played them at the NAMM show. I can't remember the exact year. And I was like, Josh, these are amazing, make me one. But he's been so busy running his shop and operating his business, he just didn't have the time or energy to do it. Fast forward to what happened last year, pardon me, he finally got some incentive to make some trumpets again. And luckily for me, I was one of the first people that purchased one of his new horns. So Josh is really into vintage trumpets. If you go to his shop, you'll see a great museum full of amazing trumpets, some horns and mouthpieces that were owned by Louis Armstrong, Clark Terry, Freddie Hubbard. I mean, like, you know, Miles Davis, everybody. So he's a student of the history of the trumpet and has a great knowledge of the vintage instruments. And you see that in his trumpet. So let me show you a few things on this horn that I love. First, let's talk about the valve block, and I actually helped him I supplied him with these valve blocks. These are Adams blocks. In fact, this is an A5 Adams valve block. You can see it in the porting there. You see there's his serial number, and that's my horn. The horn is very light. It's lighter than a normal Bach trumpet. It's almost as light as my Besson trumpet, just a smidge heavier, but feels incredibly well balanced in the hand. I showed you the bling of the buttons, and I'll show it to you again. I'm going to zoom in. These are just absolutely gorgeous. And the cool thing is that in the light, they change. So while I'm there, look at the bell. You'll see it's a slightly different color. That's because this bell is actually bronze in nature. So this is a bronze bell, and it's very lightweight, has good ping and resonance, really great. And the lead pipe is also bronze. Single braced tuning slide, but look at all of the detail work on this horn. And I'm just going to slowly scroll so you see this. All of this is completely made by hand. Josh made this by hand. It's just that type of attention to detail you don't see in modern trumpets. It's just absolutely beautiful. And the stop ring is there. And I love his unique buttons on this horn. Nice thick bead, fairly flat, good feeling behind the horn as well. I would be sad to say to not show you this. Hopefully I can get that to zoom in. There we go. Look at that hollowed out flange. I remember talking to Josh during this whole process, and since he made all of these by hand, all of these parts, it took hours and hours and hours to make. The rings took hours. I mean, they're just absolutely gorgeous. So when someone goes, well, what's the price? I know Josh was pricing these, at least at the time of this video, around $5,000 US, but honestly, it is worth every penny. You heard that beginning clip. This is on a mic with no reverb, no EQ, just playing right into it. This horn will do almost anything you want it to do. So let's play. Enough talking. Maybe my dogs will bark again. We'll see. I'll play a little classical on it. One thing that, don't damage my horn. One thing you'll hear is that really creamy connection between notes, and the notes pop. They have this really great click between the notes. So if I play something a little bit faster chromatically, that's operator error, but the horn really pops and is really crisp and clean. If I wanted to play something a little bit more traditional in terms of the sound shape, let me play Haydn for you. You heard that beginning clip of the Louis Armstrong when you're smiling, and normally the B flat below double C is a bad note for me, but on this one it just rock solid. The higher notes are really clean and crisp. Very, very accurate. Playing a ballad, no problem. This is a mouthpiece that I'm playing is my 127. It's actually a amalgamation of 3 or 4 old Al Cass mouthpieces, and I put it in, as you can see, my vintage blank. You can actually see the model number right there as well. It's literally off the shelf. I was trying to dial in a good mouthpiece setup for this horn, and since this horn has a lot of vintage vibes to it, that works really well with this. Let me play some bebop on it. Very, very fun. And if I put something like my FX mouthpiece in, which you can see right there, my deep FX mouthpiece, instant flugelhorn. So really great and creamy. And if I put my lead mouthpiece in, well, you heard it do really well on the 127. It's even more beastly on this mouthpiece. And this might pop the mic. I just got this mic and I set it up today. It's the Barkley Infinity Generation 2 mic, and it's also amazing. Video on that coming up later. But yeah, so here we go. So it will do that all. Now I know that, again, this one is not for sale. Nope. Josh is a friend, and I've asked him so many times. That one is going to be in my collection. And we'll put a link to other horns that I'm selling out of my collection, because you know I have a rule, one in, one out. But Josh does have some available for sale. There will be a link in the video description to his shop. Reach out to them, order one, and you can also order it through our store if you'd like as well. So there you go. Thanks, Josh, and thanks to all the great staff at Landress Brass for making a heck of a trumpet. I can't wait to get a little bit more into it. Sorry for the lengthy video. I love this horn. Hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date with us. Thanks for all you do for ACB, and thanks for supporting small businesses like Josh's. Take care.